Hi, my name's Pharaoh, and today I'm going to continue my abandoned run, which I was just videoing. Let's get my camera centered. I was just videoing, but I'm now going to stream because I've kind of got the Corvette. So, I mean, it's permadeath. If I die, I die. I'm not the most careful of players. I do sometimes take risks that are rather silly, but I didn't notice that coloration on there before. I've not really looked at that closely. This is the Corvette I got. This is the third episode. I think I played this for... does it actually tell you how many hours you played without going out into mode select? No, it doesn't. Let's have a quick look. So 3 hours and 44 minutes. So it's very easy to get. Hi, Alphas. Good to see you. Done is actually used the boxes in the stations I've been to, and so that would be sensible to get started, because in abandoned mode or in abandoned stations generally we have some useful stuff which are probably worth claiming. So let's do that first. So I've only been to 3 systems. So let's go to the current one first. So the whole point of this run is to get a corvette early on and see how that affects playing abandoned mode. And so far, all I've really done is got the corvette. I haven't done much else yet. So it's these little yellow boxes we really want. Boltcaster module, that's very handy. Boltcaster is by far the best. Still a bit of a bug where some of them say inventory full even when your inventory isn't full. I'm going to move that to the starship and see if that changes anything. No, it doesn't. What else? There should be 3, but maybe there's only 2 in some of the rooms. Hidden. Ah, there it is. Hidden in the dark. So let's switch to normal playing. Prismatic feathers. Well, I'll be selling those. Still no quick way to get to the I don't know if I've even got the boltcaster on here yet. No, I will. I used to have it there. But I don't have. I'm going to have to start getting stuff. I've been advised not to buy wiring looms. It's very tempting up front because I do have a lot of units already. But, only just made that. Alphas, can you confirm you're hearing me okay? Because I've been having some problems with my sound. I've had to completely rejig my sound. And I don't know if my sound levels are okay. So if I'm coming across a bit loud or if the game's a bit soft, I need to shut up so you can hear if the game's soft. See, that is quite tempting because it's not that expensive. Probably nothing else I want to sell. I probably already sold everything I want to sell. I don't know if I can really be bothered with living slime, but we will see. I don't want to start throwing away things yet. I've got a multi-tool expansion slot I could be using. Yeah. Let's actually use the stairs like a noob that we are at the moment. You get so used to just being able to fly from one platform to another. And when you start afresh, you feel like you're stuck to the ground. So, ideally, I want to place that there. Then I can position that there. I got another one. Looks like I do. Okay, well, let's position that there too. We have expansion opportunities. Maybe I don't have to even fix this up too much. That was going to be one of the things I started doing. Let's spend that wiring loom. No, there's no need, is there? Be frugal. I'm not even sure if I need inventory that much, but I do need tech. But at the moment, I don't even need that. So I think the first one's pretty cheap. Yes, it is. So we'll do that. What's that on the wall? Extract nanites. Okay, so we're going to go to Evardev and then Nadolga. One of these is a purple system. Because I immediately went to a purple system in a mission from the anomaly, which was nice. Yeah, I know, it's always a mark of whether you've actually got to 5,000. It's soon going to eat my... No, that's going to eat my thing. I don't know how much I really need units. It's always a mark of how well you're doing in your save, I think, that you can fly from one platform to another. It's like an early mark of success. Nothing else in here. I might have actually... I know these are later Atlas passes, but yeah, I do have the... I probably do need at least to get that one. I've got a starship. Flight augmentation. Don't think I need it in the tech yet, so I might as well give myself a bit more space. Alright, I can at least jump up here. I'm not that bad yet. And then... Did I get all... Yeah, one of them is doing that bug. And I did get the other two. So, next station. Yeah, that one. Should maybe name them something a bit more helpful. I don't think they were discovered previously. Hyperdrive module, that's handy. An exosuit expansion. See, these are all really worth having. I feel like in normal mode they are a little bit overpowered, these boxes. But... Alright, let's run all the way back to my ship. Is it in the first one though? Because if it isn't, I can make it the first one, I believe, by pulling up my normal ship and then pulling up my corvette. Yeah, that moved it closer. Don't have to run quite as far. So this really is made of the most basic of parts, and it's a bit of a mess. But I just chucked everything on it for now. I'll focus on maybe upgrading that later. There. That's supercharged, so let's put that on there. Put the weapons together for now, just so I can see what I'm doing. Do they? No, they don't synergize with that. What are they? Phase beam. So they synergize with that. And that's an engine, so that'll go there. That's cargo, which is giving me an extra slot here. This seems to be a little bit broken. You seem to be able to manipulate those. Right, what does this one synergize with? Maneuverability and boost. So it's not giving me that maneuverability and boost, but it does with that. Okay. Seems a bit odd, that one. I still can't quite work that one out. So I've only got a C class at the moment, haven't I? I guess upgrading class is going to be a long-term goal in this mode, and possibly not even that important. Got some salvage data. I guess the next thing is finding out if I can actually put all of the... No, I can only put the construction research. And then magnetized ferrite, so I probably need to go to a planet for that. Cockpit with that reactor only seems weird to me. I mean, at the moment, this is just thrown together. Do I start? No, I don't think I start wasting warp fuel. So what I really need to do is start thinking about, for instance, have I got anything that... No, I haven't got any technology I haven't got on my thing. I probably am going to have to drop a base, though, which is a bit disappointing. I didn't want to drop a base. I wanted to keep this as my base. So I might actually glitch the terminals onto this corvette at some point, but we won't do that straight away. Mutated planet. Undiscovered. That's got no fauna. There's going to be less planets with fauna. 1 of 6. That's still showing the pet thing on it. They've said they've fixed that twice now. So let's go there. Urus, let's call it Uro Fauna 1 for now. Because that's going to be one of my sources of nanites. It's just because that's what I like doing. So... Oh, I see what you mean. I thought you meant the look of my very, very messy corvette. But you mean the weird adjacency bonus. Yeah, I'm not sure what they're trying to get at with some of these adjacencies at the moment. But it's obviously... Well, you would have thought that the maneuverability ones would be together. Right. Got to remember not to land. That's something that I do by mistake quite a lot. I also, at some point, want to get rid of this. Oh, I want an asset. That's why I'm kind of floating or in a strange texture. That's going to be a pain. I might need to land now. How the hell am I going to get back up there? Hi, John Parmenter. Good to see you. There we are. So I think, actually remembering, I think one of my main source of nanites will be trying to find planets with fauna. Well, I know there's less of them, but it encourages exploration for a start. Because we'll soon run out of planets with fauna, so we'll have to keep moving. Oh, it's tiny. It must be the baby, because that's the adult. He looked about the size of my foot. In fact, I've lost him. Yeah, I think he's just despawned just that second, though. We got you? No, we haven't. I hate it when I land rather than get out of this. Yeah, it's just... It's such a habit, isn't it? And landing just seems like a waste of time and effort now. So you kick yourself every time you do it by mistake. Especially in this mode where I haven't got any ability to upgrade my launch thrusters yet. I haven't really done anything with the construction terminals at all yet. It's tempting to go and get that. Okay, okay. Yeah, I've got enough oxygen. Hi, Ignition. Good to see you. Hope you're feeling a bit better than you were a couple of weeks ago. Did you notice they seemingly fixed Corvette refiners losing stuff? I tried pulling every trick in the book to get the refiner bug to pop up. Didn't happen. That's interesting. I hope they would, because they should be a little bit easier to fix than say the freighter ones, which have got quite a lot of variables. But I'm hoping that eventually they do sort out refiners. I mean, I know I have my workarounds that stop me from losing stuff, but it gets a little bit old trying to explain to people online on Reddit when they're moaning and saying this game is so broken that there are ways of doing it if you go with the system. And some of them just don't believe you. Some of them claim that they're still bugged anyway, which they can be, but you know, my video does cover that they can be still bugged anyway. It's just frustrating that people kind of get that opinion of the game because of one silly thing, the frustration of losing stuff in refiners. It's almost like a rite of passage. Everybody goes through it at some point. So what am I missing? Rare underground. Of course I am. I'm going to have to find... Now, I'm betting I can't get back up to that frigate. Not frigate. Corvette. Hi, John. Good to see you. Stitches. I don't like stitches. I don't mind needles, but stitches, they just kind of, they're weird. They itch and they kind of just sit there looking at you. Right, can I get up here? I don't think I've got any chance of getting up there. Even if I build, I'm going to have to land. After all that of making sure I didn't land, I'm going to have to land. Look at that ugly ship. Yes, the whole... I'm probably going to have to do that now anyway, so I'll demonstrate. But there are different ways of getting things. I've not played this mode either. This is only my third episode of doing this. The other two I wasn't streaming. And as you can see, it's a lot more easy to get distracted and forget about your hazard protection when you're streaming. But in the way that in the early game we get the construction research unit, we can also get other construction terminals. And I believe, although I haven't tested this fully yet, that they might only be available if you build a base, which is slightly frustrating because I wanted to make this my only base. So you get... Do you remember there was an expedition where we had the different terminals? Well, it's the same as that. This whole mode is based on that expedition, really. So let's see if I can build a basic base. Have I even got chromatic metal? I can't remember. Is it because I'm too close to my Corvette? Okay, yes. Right. Chromatic. I haven't got any chromatic metal at the moment. So have I got some copper? I've got 63, so I'm going to have to get some more. I'm tempted to go back to that purple system and get something that is a little bit more efficient than copper. What am I in at the moment? I'm not in the purple system at the moment, am I? No. I'm not quite sure why I have so many systems in my discovery list. Maybe because I'm in a populated area and I'm picking up neighbouring systems. Hi, Gravnaut. Good to see you. Can you tell me this? Do I have to unlock the terminals in this mode? Or do I just get them by building my first base? Because it definitely wouldn't let me build them in the Corvette, which is slightly frustrating. As I was saying earlier, I might have to glitch them into my Corvette at some point. You get them free, but are they unlocked by building the base computer, presumably? Because I was hoping that they would be part of the build system in the Corvette as well. Yeah, that's what I thought. I might have to glitch them into my Corvette at some point, because I don't really want a base. That's the whole point of this expedition. But we can do that. I had to reinstall Windows to get my sound working again. I completely messed up. I was having problems with sound glitches in this game. It was causing kind of stutters in this game. And I stupidly deleted the wrong drivers that I couldn't just replace easily. And I ended up having to reinstall 3 or 4 things. And in the end, I just thought, I'm just going to have to reinstall Windows to get this working. I hate having to do it. But usually it works out okay. So which one of these is purple? Stellar Class G3. Y, that's the one. Yeah, I've heard that Windows doesn't play well with dual booting anymore. It's almost like they're trying to stop people dual booting. Look, it's too far away again. I have to do this every time just to avoid running unnecessarily far. I'm really not very familiar at all with Linux. When I first had the opportunity to mess around with Linux, which was been way back in the 90s, early 90s, I didn't do it. And I really wish I had started playing around with it back then, because by now I'd probably be much more confident in giving it a go. But it just seems a very daunting task and a new thing to learn. What have I got in my storage containers? What have I got? I've got a microprocessor. They would be handy right now. And nothing in that one. Wasn't there something in my multi-tool that needed a microprocessor that would be handy to unlock? Or was it a piece of technology? I can't remember now. I haven't got that, but I can get that, so I might as well put that in. No, I don't think it was one of these parts. Oh, maybe that one. But it's a lot of resources for it when I don't need it. I don't think it was that. Is one of the terminals microprocessor? No, it's magnetized ferrite. Yeah, I am NVIDIA as well, but that wouldn't stop me. I've got two computers. I could easily mess around on one of them. Got my older computer that I was playing this game on until it just couldn't cope with it anymore. I don't think I'm close enough to... Oh, yes, I am. Magnetized... Well, I can get some magnetized ferrite quickly. I might as well land on all of these anyway. Back on Discord. I noticed you disappeared off Discord. I like how you do a punch jump off your corvette stations. It's... Whoops. Let's make sure I don't land. If I don't concentrate, I will end up landing. And let's try not to land somewhere where I leave my teleporter on an asset like I did last time. So I haven't sorted out my hotkeys either. What is it? It's in here, isn't it? Oh, that's handy. Oh, wrong one. Oh, it must be reversed because I'm in... It's not going to let me... He's going to let me beam down. I thought maybe I'd park badly. Chat's going too fast for me. Let me just catch up. I might have it set to don't accept friends. I'll have a check. Just found your content the other day, but with your announcement of this update and what it means for 10-year anniversary. Yeah, we've got a lot of viewers on that. I was quite surprised how many people watched that video. So thanks for watching it. I'm glad you came and found me. And obviously it's just a hunch, but I do feel like they're heading somewhere. I do feel like 10th anniversary will be something momentous. They will want to kind of make it the big one. Thanks, Alphys. So yeah, whether it will be multiplayer, I mean that's just my speculation. But I do feel like they're heading somewhere, and it doesn't seem coincidental to me that the last two major things they've changed are planets and ships, which are like kind of the biggest things in the game. You would have thought for a game that was 9 years old that you'd leave planets and ships well alone. But they've not made life easy on themselves. Which is to be admired, that they're challenging themselves. Got to be a bit careful of the radiation at this stage. Ah, I must be still close to the radiation. I was saying I've got to be a bit careful of the radiation while it's slowly killing me, which is a little bit ironic. Okay. I have died in permadeath early on in games trying to loot these things when I haven't had enough jetpack to get out of a hole, for instance. I do feel sorry for the real Big Daddy T. Will the real Big Daddy T please stand up? Yeah, and you learned your lesson before about messing around with your username when you got stuck with it for a while. There's no fauna on this planet, I'm guessing. Oh, there are. Okay. That could keep me here a bit longer. This is where I need to be a little bit careful that I don't fall in the hole and die of radiation. Okay, so where is my teleport? Oh, has it buried itself in the asset? It might have. Oh, I can still beam aboard. Right. Rethink now. I'm not worried about radiation. What are we up to? So we've got a couple of exosuit expansions. But we were here for magnetized ferrite, weren't we? Magnetized ferrite 533. Let's just mark that one. Oops. Let's. Not like this. Be more careful. I could die like that. I don't have a recharge. See, I told you I was a little bit gung-ho sometimes. Let's shut the hatch, shall we? That might be safer. Oh, no, not beam down. Okay. Now we can just walk across and not die. So where was I? I was going to search for magnetized ferrite. My most ignoble death in permadeath was early on. I thought, oh, I'll just pop along to... No, that's not the right. That's quartzite, but that is something I do want as well. My most ignoble death in permadeath was early on in the save. I thought, I'll just pop along to an airless moon and grab a few things from there, like the caves will have stuff, and maybe I can get adventurous with some of the other things that I can find. And then I grabbed a few things. I was really happy, and I quickly pulsed high into the air back to my ship and realized that I didn't have anything to recharge my rockets. and I slowly fell to my death, and I couldn't do anything about it apart from quit, which I wasn't prepared to do. So it was like a slow motion death. It was the most embarrassing thing ever. I didn't do it on stream, but it was still the most embarrassing thing ever. Ow. Where was it? I've got it marked, haven't I? Yes. So yeah, I'm not the most... See, there are a few issues still with the terrain. Why do all of my streams turn into bug reports? Okay. This is a dirty one, but it might give me enough. Certainly a lot quicker than messing around with ferrites. No free slots in shoot inventory, but I've got... Oh, it's because it was trying to pick up the other stuff. That's not a problem. What's killing me here? Nothing. Come on, out from there. Right, so really what we want here is the quartzite. I'm going to have to go back to my ship, though, and actually put some stuff in my other... Well, it's not far away, though. Tidy up my inventory a bit, which I should have done earlier when I said... Remember to close the hatch. What was it that I was... There we go. We can put that in the back room for now. Already known. I guess a signal booster is useful. Got 2 left. Wall. Thinner one. Stairs, they're always useful. I'll do for now. Right. Tidy my inventory. Put that in my starship. That in my storage. Put that in my storage. Thought I'd sold that, but obviously I had more. That in my storage for now. And those. And those. Leave that to remind me I've got some. That can go in the starship. That can go in storage. Starship. There's actually plenty of space in there. Yeah, I was hoping that once they unlock it, they might be in the ship. But there are ways and means. You can just transfer things to your ship from a build, so we'll work it out if not. I can temporarily build a base, position them, and then oops. Yeah, I can temporarily build a base and reposition them in here, theoretically, if it doesn't let me. That beam down is a bit disconcerting. That keeps putting me below the terrain, but I guess we are in a purple system where the terrain is a bit weird. Five of 7. Are you going to suddenly dislike me? No, you're not. Did I not mark the quartzite? Yes, I did. Quartzite will be a very useful resource to have just because it refines a lot better. It refines like indium. So that's one of the reasons I was very pleased to get a purple system, because it will speed up getting the indium drive or the Atlantid drive. Because I can start making lots of chromatic metals. I still feel like, I mean, it's probably a controversial thing, and maybe they would give us an option to turn it off. I still feel like abandoned mode needs its own story. And I know people play this kind of mode to avoid story, but I mean, I also think that they should tidy up the story in the game and make it less intrusive for players that don't want the story. So I'm not saying it for those reasons. I just feel like abandoned mode needs something to get your teeth into other than just survive and explore once you've got all the bits. Obviously at the moment, getting everything is part of the game. Absolutely, you'll never run out of chromatic metal if you've got a large refiner. And we've got a corvette, so we have a large refiner available to us pretty quickly. I don't think I've ever streamed one of my permadeath saves. But yeah, permadeath, that's one of the first things I'd be doing, is making a chromatic metal farm. And it will definitely be one of the first things I do here. Let's use the mouse, that'll be a lot easier. I actually point at things rather than flicking my controller around. Probably wondering why I'm jerking around all the time. You seem to have fixed... I don't know how many people were having the problem. I don't know how many people play this game on PC with a controller. But they seem to have fixed the Steam input problem we were having, where the controller just wouldn't be recognised when you booted into the game. I'm on experimental. They seem to have fixed it on experimental. Right, I'm going to have to think about actually getting a large refiner on my Corvette. Ow, I thought I was... I have to approach that from a different angle and not from below. Let's get this one. Yeah, I know it's not fixed in normal, and it was a pain in the neck. Some people say that if you switch if you just go back to Steam even while you're in the game and switch from Steam input to no Steam input and then back again, it does fix it. But I never got around to trying it because they fixed it before on experimental before I started to have to. Right, so what do I need to build a refiner? Platinum and hydraulic wiring. Well, that's handy, isn't it? That's a pain in the neck. Right, so how far have we got with the common ground, rare ground? So I can just hang around on the planet for a bit. Let's move slightly away from here. Is this the same derelict? Have we got a hole? Yes, same derelict. Not derelict, crash. What's that? Nothing. Maybe I should be a little bit higher. You can actually get caught on these bulb things. I remember once in an expedition I got stuck on one, and it took me about 20 minutes to wiggle myself off. And the reason that I was so determined is because I just finished the weekend mission, the old style weekend missions that were always a little bit more tricky. And I just finished it, and then I got stuck on one, and I didn't want to have to do the whole thing again, so I just kept moving and moving and moving until it finally dislodged me. But it literally took 20 minutes. Yeah, I don't really want to start fighting sentinels yet. I could theoretically craft them. Why is it? That's a long way away around the moon to be picking up an unknown building. Ah, it's because it's a trade post. Wonder if it'll let me position myself so I can actually... Possibly not. We're too far then. Let's see where it actually drops me off. No, it's blocked. Never mind. Just want to look to see if it has got one down there. Yeah, it has got one down there. Can't see where, though. Is it just on the floor? Alright, I'll take the risk. I can always land if I have to. Can't remember if when I was in the anomaly, whether I actually did buy any of the blueprints. Not yet. But I do have 500 and odd nanites. Well, we're on a moon, so it's a wonky base. It's always very disconcerting. This is really slopey. Nothing up there. Could buy a bit of copper. That might not be a bad idea. It's not expensive. Buy a bit more magnetized ferrite. Just in case, maybe a launch fuel or two. I think I've got a couple, but as I say, I've got a bit of cash. Okay, not enough space. Can sell that. Yeah, I've got storage containers. I've got plenty of money, haven't I? Yeah. I might start buying some of the trade goods and storing them away. No, I'm not close enough to that can go in the starship, that can go in the starship, that can go in the starship. That can go in the starship. So can that. Oh, I was going to sell it, wasn't I? Let's remember to sell that. No, I can't get to my ship, of course. So I'm going to have to pull it back out of there. I guess microprocessors are always going to be handy. Probably afford that much. Slowly refilling. Right, that'll do. Oh, there's another patch of stuff over here. That was one of the things I was thinking about. The Atlas Pass 1 copper. I really should be getting the Atlas Pass 1 quite quickly, and I haven't. So that's definitely something I should be doing. Hi, Jebusite 100. Yeah, we're playing abandoned mode, so this is kind of more on the extreme level of this game. It's not usually quite so bleak. But it is a very cool game. It's my favourite game. Right, so has it given us that landing spot? I can't see it. Yes, it has. I wasn't looking in the right place. Ah, you lose money. That's a bit of a shame. Oh, I've just killed myself. Oh, I haven't. Oh, I nearly killed myself. Really got to sort that hatch out. I need to give myself a better hatch. I am going to die stupidly and start all over again. It's going to be my downfall, I can tell you now. Did I keep any meat? Actually, I'm not actually down on hit points, amazingly. Let's climb down the ladder. I've got 3 hit points. I was out of shields, so if I'd got hit again, I could easily have lost all of my 3 hit points. Don't know why I just did that. Don't have anything extra. I nearly did it again. I would panic. Let's operate that hatch. Remember to shut the hatch every time we come back. And then remember to look for a better way of entering my ship, because I hate those hatches. I have to put it in a side room. I have to get another hab at some point and put it in a side room. Oh, that's a nice place to land. Or am I getting distracted worrying about things like that? It's a factory, though. I use a controller. This game is... It was originally made for the Sony PlayStation. And it just feels like it always stayed in controller mode. So it just feels like the most natural way to play it is a controller. It just feels optimized for it. Now, I know a lot of people on PC don't think that. But I also do building and glitch building, which is another one of my passions. With a controller, it's a lot easier to glitch build. So I kind of stuck with the controller. It's one of those elusive creatures. And the other one, I think. Let's boost in nanites. Wonder what my gun's like. It's probably not too bad. Maybe I could grab some eggs while we're here. Now, I don't have these memorized. I approach the temple with something deeper in the complex is malfunctioning. Surfaces feel hot to the touch, hidden shearing clanks and worms, the alert sounds. If it feels hot to the touch, it's probably a coolant thing. Alarms ring by a bit. There are a couple of different coolant ones, though. Let's do it anyway. Yes. Don't really need words, I guess. I suppose I do need words if I'm going to keep coming to factories, but... Right. Where's my ship? There. Okay, I can get away if it all goes wrong. Ow! Ah, I'm dead. It all went wrong. Ah! I forget how tough they can be in permadeath mode. I guess we start again. Boosted S-class translator is sufficient in most cases. Well, it would have been. It would have been if I hadn't killed myself. Right, I did say I get a bit gung-ho in these games, and I tend to make silly mistakes. And that was my first one. Yeah, there are... actually, we can show you as we're here. So you can have normal mode, which most people would play. Creative mode, which makes everything free. You don't have to worry about... You can just wander around, do whatever you want without really having to spend any money. Relax mode, which is kind of a halfway house between completely free and normal mode. So it's kind of, if you don't really want a hardcore survival at the beginning, or don't really want to buy lots of things. Survival, which technically the game, it's kind of its secret default mode. So in survival, everything seems to be balanced quite well, and you don't have as many, what's the word? There's not many exploits you can use. A lot of things that people say, oh, I always do this in normal. For instance, I always get nanites in this particular method. It doesn't work as well in survival. And then permadeath is pretty much survival. But they didn't used to have permadeath on this slider, did they? Permadeath is pretty much survival, apart from you can't die. And just like I just died then. Now, I'm not going to change the fishing timing. I mean, why would I? I mean, just, is it really worth doing? Do you fish much, Gravnor, if you ever actually survive this game? Reputation and standing again. It doesn't make the slightest bit of difference. You don't get any reputational standing. Enemy strength challenging. That's possibly why I just died. Inventory stack limits. I don't like harsh. I think it's just too restrictive. Purchase. I don't mind expensive purchases. Whoops. Got to do that all over again. Can't believe I died to the horrors. Still smarting about that. Purchases expensive inventory stack. I'm not gonna put inventory stack limits harsh. It's just not fun for me. Challenging, reputation and standing, challenging. Difficult. It's always going to be locked anyway. Is that everything? Confirm and start game. Well, I should have been a little bit more careful. When I started shooting them, I should have grabbed a couple, run inside, and then grabbed a couple more, run inside. And I just didn't, because I do get a little bit too overconfident when I'm playing permadeath. Which means I do have some very successful permadeath runs. Not in Abandoned, because I'd never played it before. But I have to get past a certain level before I start being more confident with it. And I always said this when people used to say, "Oh, play permadeath, it's a really good challenge, at least getting started." I used to say, "No, I shouldn't ever play permadeath. I'm too I take too many risks. Should have listened to myself, but no." Yeah, stack limits. I feel like they just overdid it on harsh stack limits. But then they did make the stack limits slightly more generous on survival, so I guess they're just giving it for people that like the original. This planet seems quite nice for a starting planet. It's not really hurting me that much. Keep forgetting you start with the scanner. Anything else we can immediately put in I shouldn't be able to scan. It says it's broken. Can't put that in there yet. I could put that in there for temporarily and work towards it. Won't take long. What about my exosuit? Yeah, I can put that in there. That won't take long. I've got a supercharged slot active on my exosuit. No. I should shoot at least one creature. Didn't give me anything. Yeah, either way, this is, even in permadeath, this is the way I prefer to play it. That's one of the great things about No Man's Sky, is you can play it the way you want to play it. Why isn't this planet trying to kill me? Doesn't feel right. This is probably not the best thing to be shooting. It seems to take a little bit long. Not a bad yield, though. Oh, no, you can play it with keyboard and mouse. A lot of people do. I mean, there are lots of hardcore keyboard and mouse players that would never dream of anything else. If you couldn't do that, then they would be upset. So yeah, you can play it with keyboard and mouse just like any other kind of first-person shooter style game, even though it's not really a shooter. It's not a very action game. There is combat, but don't expect it to be particularly challenging. It isn't as I said in my recent video about the future of the game, there's no strategy in the combat really. Hi, Tiavor. Sorry, I didn't spot you coming in. Welcome. What did you say earlier? I love a base. I love build. Yes, you were the person that talked about the base. So I did spot you. I just didn't notice you was somebody different. I guess I might as well head towards my ship. Yeah, there's one thing I would recommend if you do pick this game up and play it with a keyboard and mouse is bear in mind there are two different control systems for the ship. There's a tethered system, which some people like, but there's also a more direct control system, and I find the direct control system a lot easier than the tethered system if I'm using a mouse. And I see a lot of people playing this game. I watch a lot of streams of people that have never played this game before. I just find it interesting to see how they approach the early challenges and how the game helps them through or doesn't help them through. And one of the things I always notice is people struggling with the ship control system until someone tells them that they can change it from tethered. I do feel like the default should be the other way around. See how long it takes to get that one. Have I already scanned it? Yes. It takes a while. Well, after dying, it's quite nice to be on a slightly more chilled planet that's not trying to kill me quite so fast. I can kind of calm myself down from the realization I'm dying. What's the other name for it? Let's just go into the options a second. Is it controls? No, it's not controls. Is it general? Maybe it is controls. Just normal or normal invert. No, that's not it. I don't like auto follow. Why is that locked? Have I got to be untethered, or is it just because I'm not in a ship? I know it doesn't force you to do this. I don't feel like you're playing No Man's Sky unless you do this. Yeah, I've noticed that Zane plays tethered. I always think that's odd. But again, it's hardcore mouse thing. If you play other games that have got that kind of control. Welcome back, Ignition. Do you play keyboard and mouse? Plating, of course. I've got much I can actually do with this yet. Can make a little bit of pure ferrite, I guess. I think it's just because I don't have a ship yet. I'm not sure. It seemed a bit odd that it said locked, though. That's Veridust. That's a weird thing. It looks like a growth coming out of the ground, but it's actually a rock. Yeah, I play with an Xbox compatible controller. Mine's a Fusion. I like having paddles on the back of my controller, so I've got like a Fusion Pro. It's actually a Fusion Pro 3. I find their controllers really hard wearing. You don't always get the best reviews, but I would definitely review them well. Yeah, it might be the best part of the game, but I don't want to have to do it that many times. Look, I've already hurt myself. This one could be even shorter at this rate. My patience may run thin if I have to restart the game more than a couple of times. I've been missing out on chromatic metal, look. Schoolboy error. No, I'm not die hard enough to really start worrying about Hall effects and stuff. But these sticks they're super reliable. I've had 2 Fusion Pro controllers. One was I think it was generation 1, and this one's generation 3. And they don't feel, I mean, this one doesn't feel as well made as the original, but I've never had any problems with them, except when they wear out. I literally wear out the pads. And when I last wore out the pads, I also my old one was quite grubby. It was really looking worn, so I just bought a new one. But I can still use it. It's still perfectly functional. And that's like 5 years old now, I think. It hasn't got any drift issues, hasn't got any button issues. It just feels a bit grubbier in my hands because it's kind of been worn down a bit. Yeah, I really want Steam to put out another Steam controller. Well, I need 100. I can't remember what I need for the ship now. 50. Metal plating. I'll make the metal plating. And the hermetic seal needs condensed carbon, which we don't have any of yet, but we can make. Oh, how much does it need again? You never memorize these things. 30, not a lot. Let's put 50 in. I did have some, didn't I? Oh, did I use it up? I don't have it. Oh, I put it in. I used it up. I need to put a bit more in. Where are we? See, I've been playing this game with a Steam Deck for the last year. And I've really kind of started to really enjoy their controller on the Steam Deck. So I just want them to make the Steam Deck controller, which they keep talking about potentially doing. Well, they don't talk about it. Everybody else talks about it. Everybody else speculates that that's what they're going to do at some point. You have rumors about it and leaks about it, but nothing's happened yet. What's going on? Why have I only... Did I just use that up again? Yes, I did. I'm really not paying attention. Let's put some oxygen in and then go from there. Well, at least we'll have some carbon. I can actually pay attention to the chat then. Yeah, I got done in. I was overconfident with whispering eggs, forgetting how tough they can be. $29. Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, more than exactly right. So that's in there. We can take off. We've got a geode there. And before we take off, let's do that rusted metal while we're here. Well, it's KBM. I don't know. Don't recognize the initials. Oh, sorry, keyboard and mouse. Just as I realized, I saw you typed it as well. Although I'm slightly delayed because I use a different chat app, so I can do that thing. How long will it take before I stop being frustrated that I just died? I'm still smarting about it. Should get some cobalt while I'm on this planet if I can see her. Because I haven't actually been in a cave yet. Unusually. Oh, let's stay away from that. So going to follow me up? No, it isn't. By that, I mean the storm, not the animal. Yeah, I didn't get any meat from that first one. I was a bit confused by that. Usually when you shoot the first animal, you get at least a little bit of meat. Let's shoot him. I don't know if it just didn't die or what. So I've got some feline liver. That should do me. Can we see any evidence of a cave? Not at all. This is the thing about this game. You never know where you're going to start. You never know what kind of planet you're going to be on. Is that a full... No, I've still got a bit of space for ferrite dust. Well, I guess, unless I can see a cave, if I just quickly wander around. I guess I might as well take off. Or there's a building over there. See, this is why I need better resources. Not going to use that right now. Can we... No, we can't. A little tiny bit of chromatic metal. Is it in a supercharged slot? Oh yes, it is. Well, at the moment, there's nothing else that can go in it. I suppose I could put my mining beam in it. Never did fix that. Didn't seem to need it. But I do want to fix that at some point. Right. Are there caves anywhere near? Might have to take off to find a cave or go to another planet. Some sack venom. Yeah, I think I'm going to take off. Right, now I can use these because I'm going uphill, not down. Microprocessor. Need to get back to my ship. Right. Metal plating. Let's see if we can find a cave. Yeah, scanning all the animals is a major source of nanites in this mode. I've literally played abandoned mode twice now. This is the second time. You just saw me killed in the first one. So yeah, I'm not the expert in this mode. Yeah, I am a little bit careful of, because I've done that in expeditions in the past, and usually expeditions are quite forgiving, but they're not always. I should also be a little bit more careful about flying into assets because my shield has been reduced already. And I know that's better when I land and get out of my ship, but I don't want to land and get out of my ship unless I find a cave. Even if I find a factory. That's tempting. I could land there. Have a proper scan around for a cave now. Tell you what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to mess with those eggs that right now. This is just going to be one of those planets that doesn't have caves. It looks like it's the perfect cave planet. Ow. I always forget about the things on the ceiling. Let's just read this properly. Alarms blare, sounding out against my intrusion. The facility is remotely operated. No one responds to the klaxon's call. The terminal indicates the facility was undertaking a specialized piece of research. The terminal appears to be asking for manual confirmation of its experiment. I can't remember. Doesn't look like I've done that. Never mind. I was just deliberately not looking at chat in case anybody knew. Right, where's the... There it is. It seemed to have fixed the hitbox on those a bit, so you can actually shoot them directly now. I could get one, couldn't I? And then just jump in my ship. I'm not going to. Not at this stage, at least. Learned my lesson for today, at least. I can get a bit tougher and then do it. The reason I do the manufacturing sites is for multi-tool slots. I specifically only factories. I don't bother with the manufacturing ones. But factories, I always try and get a slot for my multi-tool. Is that going to close up? No, it isn't. Excellent. Yeah, I can always get the Atlas card stuff from the anomaly. I suppose you could play no anomaly mode as well. That would be a bit too hardcore for only my second run of this. Where was it? Here. Hello, underground creature that happens to be here. Underground uncommon, underground rare, typical. The same one you are. Sometimes they look the same. Right, I want to start shooting around him. I mean, I wouldn't have landed there if it hadn't been for the fact that I needed to land at some point anyway. And I thought, well, it's a free landing. I could possibly get a slot. And I could scan around for a cave, which didn't pay off. Well, we've got a cave now. And as I've found so few caves so far, I'm probably going to fully exploit this one. Oh, I was just overheated, wasn't I? On Iron Man mode, you could go and punch the hazardous flora. That would be crazy. Let's ride the red bar. Old school. If anybody doesn't know, the more the thing is overheating, the more resources or quicker you get the resources. You just have to make sure you don't overheat. It's only really a consideration early game. Yeah, I can see the idea of being a bit frugal with your nanites, but nanites are there to spend, aren't they? Always get more. That's not a bulb, is it? What I don't know yet is if there are any uranium planets in this system. Thinking of resources. Nice secondary dihydrogen. Went past the red. I just started to look up to see what it was, where it was, and I missed my moment. Missed it again. I was watching it that time. I was depleted, that's why. Thought I'd overcharged it. Right, how are we doing for cobalt? Not bad. We haven't got a lot of is marrow bulb. Not actually seeing a lot of it. All these fake marrow bulbs that are in these caves these days. I haven't done the stalagmites, have I? No, stalactites. I always get that wrong. Got to have a system. Yeah, I do need some sodium, and that's why I really wanted some... it's not an actual stalactite. That one is. That's what... Oh, it's also secondary dihydrogen, so there's no difference, really. So I don't really need them. That's why I was looking for marrow bulb, and I can't find it. There's going to be none in here. Very strange. At least scan that. Oh well, I'm going to have to do sodium the old-fashioned way. Unless I can find something with a secondary. not sure about getting up there. Let's find out before we dig our way out. Yeah, we can. Alright, well, there's some sodium. At least it's night time, so we can spot sodium quicker. That's advanced. Said before, it took me actually quite a long while before I even realised that those little crystals weren't the same as the big crystals. Running low on oxygen as well. No, I'm okay with melee boosting. I know where I am with the melee boost in this mode. That's not my weakness. If you should watch, if that makes you feel nervous, you should watch. What's her name? What's her name? Queen of permadeath. Got her name now. Not very good with names at the best of times. Okay, we're going to have to... I suppose we've got some cobalt now, haven't we? So what do I need? I need... some... The hydrogen jelly we can easily get. We haven't got much carbon. So I need to get some carbon. I need some oxygen. I might need to take off and get some stuff. Right, ship. Don't want to have to keep recharging. Oh, oxygen. See, I wouldn't pulse there, for instance. Because I would probably hurt myself. But uphill, across hills, onto assets, you're usually fine. The ground collision that gets you. Oh, there's a bit of sodium on one of those. That might be handy when I take off. So let's see if we can get some of that sodium. Oh, let's see if I can see where I was going. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this in the dark. Got a little bit of it. Got a little bit more. Not getting a super large amount of it, though. Mm-hmm. 21 after all that shooting. Probably not worth it. Probably worth finding something else. What planets have we got? Thanks for keeping each other informed in the chat, because I got a little bit distracted. I feel cooking is the way to go in abandoned mode, replaces the lack of effective hazard protection. Yeah, I guess you could. I'm not sure if it's really worth it, though. It's phosphorus there. Sometimes these can be... No. Contaminated. So we've got some uranium here. We've got some salvageable scrap here. So we're set up for a little bit. Let's get some uranium. That's one of the most frustrating things about dying, is I had a really nice multi-tool going on really quickly. I had an A-class multi-tool with a nice number of already free slots, and I really wasn't having to think too much about my multi-tool at all. And that might not happen again. That was a bit lucky. You just want to watch me die, Ignition. I know what it is. See me crash and burn. The hubris I had. There's fauna on this planet too. Nice. So we're having a bit of luck. What did I miss on this one? It was just underground, wasn't it? Yeah. Underground on a planet that had very few caves. Right, I'm looking for some uranium deposits before I land. And for those not sure why I'm doing that, because uranium pretty much replaces launch fuel. Is that uranium or is that a load of sodium? Either would be quite handy. It's a load of sodium. It's not a metal patch. It's tempting considering how little sodium I've got. Maybe I will land here. I'll just do the rest on foot. I'm hoping that this is a planet with just flyers. One rare underground. Has to be, doesn't there? Just to make it awkward. Come on. Right. Lost track of my direction now. Which way was the sodium? That wasn't it. That wasn't it, but I might as well grab it now. I've run this way. Is that a cave there? I think it is. Come on. I already landed for the sodium. Where have I put it? Okay, back to my ship. I'm resisting the temptation to just go into camera mode and find the sodium, because I feel like that's cheating, really. I'm not really feeling the shooting sentinels right this second. Maybe in a bit. It's the life support gel I'm really not doing well on at the moment. Don't have a lot of carbon. Might sort of make some dihydrogen jelly ready. We should really tidy this up. One measly marrow bulb. Right, that's a bit more logical for me. Right, I should be okay. In a minute, I'm just going to admit defeat and go into camera mode. Come on. No, I understand that. I decide right now I don't actually have many resources to even survive running around, because I didn't really make the most of that first planet. So I'm a bit cautious of having to run away from my ship, for instance. If I met the drone over here somewhere, he pops up straight away. So if I met the drone over here somewhere, I could always run back to my ship in the direction of. Still not feeling it, though. Still not feeling it. Right, I'm going to have to go into camera mode. So I've just completely lost it. Where is it? Could have sworn it was sodium, but maybe I just got it confused. But I didn't, though, did I? It was sodium. Is it over there? It looks like a bright patch just there. Behind my ship. But that doesn't look like sodium. So, is it behind my ship? Yes, right there. Almost immediately behind my ship. Should have known that I would have flown over it and landed. There's worm coming in. This is a weird save I have going. I have a portal location before a ship and Indian before copper. Portal location before a ship is very unusual. I remember a save I did once, a permadeath save. And I spawned, and there was a Colossal Archive, and they hadn't been in the game that long. I thought, you know what, I'm going to run for that instead of my ship. And I died trying to get to it, which was very frustrating. Because I thought, oh, I can just make that. And I missed it by about 3 seconds. Right, this will keep me going for a bit. Then we can start looking for some uranium. and getting some carbon. Recognizing what's plants and what isn't on these planets can be tricky. What's that? Salt. Copper. Come on, I want a nice nearby uranium so I don't have to take off. Copper. There's not going to be any. Salt. It's not very promising. Isn't the best place for carbon for some reason. Where's that one carbon? No, that's ferrite. They look the same, but sometimes some of them are plants and some of them are minerals. Is that the carbon on this planet? Yes. Not a lot of that, though. Oh, now we have a storm. Let's get back to my ship. Come on. I feel like I've landed in a bad spot here. I suppose I could turn some condensed carbon into carbon. It might be my best bet at the moment. Put my normal carbon in there. Put all of the condensed carbon in there. And sit in my ship. Didn't need a lot of carbon either, that's the crazy thing. That'll give me some carbon back as well, because it takes the condensed carbon into carbon. But you could just keep doing that. Put your it'd be quicker, wouldn't it? You just put your refiner down, put condensed carbon in the burner, pick it up, and it will give you it back in carbon. And just keep doing that. It'd be quicker than refining it, I think. Okay, so at least we have a little bit of insurance. I'm not going to go too far because I feel like this is one of those diminishing return spots where if you stay hanging around a place like this, there's so little resources, you could end up just expiring out of no resources. But I might as well get what's here. Okay. Now I could probably get rid of you. Scanned you, yes I have. Have I scanned you? No, I haven't. Just hoping if I just go like a couple of meters extra that I'll suddenly spot some uranium. I haven't even spotted anything with a secondary, I don't think. Aha, there we are. It worked. Slightly too far to run, perhaps. Right, we'll fly over to the uranium. And then we won't have to worry about fuel to take off because we'll have some uranium. As long as I make sure, double make sure I've marked it before I get in my ship. Yep, still marked. But it's not going to be a... Oh, it's... Yeah, it's okay size. Well, I got stuck in the asset then. Okay, there. Should probably get my hazard protection up first, as it's free. What I usually do is run up to the uranium and then dig myself underneath it and mine it from underneath. Landed in a slightly annoying spot because each time I get out of my ship, I'm going to have to... Can I walk out that way? Yes, I can. Okay. There it is. Let's get the carbon before I destroy the ground. Immediately run out. A bit more space under here. After this, my next priority is usually dioxide. Can't remember if there was a frozen planet though. Yeah, this is a big enough deposit. This will do us. What I wasn't expecting was to do a run from scratch while streaming. The specific reason that I did the first 2 episodes without streaming was so as not to die. Should have carried on, really. I should have made the first 3 or 4 episodes without streaming so as not to die. Then I might not have died. Might have been a little bit more careful. Still, I should stop worrying about what's happened and carry on with this. Yeah, there will be other classes, but I might not find them quite so quickly. I could always go hunting for a sentinel, I guess. Well, I don't feel quite as relaxed. Because one of the problems in higher difficulties is you get underneath these things and you don't get any of your resources, but you don't get your any recharge on your hazard protection. So you're always thinking, make sure you don't mine away just above you, so as not to suddenly have to worry about hazard again. Maybe what I should do is, instead of immediately focusing on getting a corvette like I did first time around, maybe I should set myself up on a base first and start actually making myself less vulnerable, and then get the corvette, and then play the corvette mode. Because I was so laser focused on getting the corvette last time. But I didn't really make myself tough enough. And also, I answered one of the questions I set out to answer, which was, do you get the ability to put the terminals in a corvette if you haven't done any base building at all? And it turns out the answer is no. So we have to build a base anyway. Let's see, now I don't have protection there. Theoretically, you can make a cave with cave terrain and potentially get a bit of hazard protection back. That just seems like a bit of hassle. It also feels a bit cheaty to make a cave out of cave terrain just for your hazard protection. Right, let's get this last bit. I'm just going to go big up and just get it. Run back to my ship. Any remnants? Yeah, it definitely works. I remember, I think Zane was really surprised because when they changed the way permadeath worked for that, it took us a bit by surprise. I remember watching one of Zane's streams and he suddenly realized that he couldn't recharge in a cave, and somebody else suggested to him to try building a cave out of cave terrain, and it worked. So I've always known you can do it, but I never actually bothered doing it. So next, copper, I guess. Copper. That's quite a long way away. So I can't even see the deposit, but it's slowly getting bigger. Should be able to land quite close to it. Of course, I'm going to annoy that sentinel. But it doesn't matter because I can shoot that one. Don't go too far. He protect that rock from me, didn't he? I didn't realise there were 2 rocks. I hope that sentinel doesn't keep shooting me. Oh, he kept shooting me. Of course he did. Shouldn't even have said it. No, they're always advanced. Is that a storm brewing up? No. Stay away from them this time. So I haven't repaired from the last time yet. Alright, I'm not going to worry about that rock. Oops. Didn't realise that would be that far. Might want to mine back to my ship if this has a protection. Now I'm protected. I'll have a look, see what I got. Reload time -5, damage +2. Damage +2 is alright. I usually quite early on get the roamer because then I will just drive around. I'll get the protection, the protection for the region. I guess that's one reason why Colossus or I guess the Minotaur is good for not having to get the protection. But I'll get the protection for the rover. Just drive around in that and use that as my extra storage. But yeah, there's no doubt about it. Colossus has got a lot more storage. Usually I just will eventually keep a crashed ship and slowly do it up and use it for storage. Just because it's handy. You can always summon it. We're talking permadeath here. Sure exactly where the limits of this deposit are now. I'm losing track of exactly where I am underneath. That seems to be about there. This really does feel like a mining game at this stage. I think that's all of it. Just double check. Yep. Where's my ship? Over there. Give me distance, that's all right. Yeah, definitely the way to go now is the Corvette. There's just too many benefits to the Corvette. The fact that you can get a really, really early storage containers, you can get really, really early refiners. Don't really want to charge that yet. I guess I'm going to have to at some point. Unusual position where I've got more oxygen than carbons. How much diet? I've got enough for one dihydrogen jelly. So must have some in the other one as well. Okay. I don't want to start refining here. Did I actually get that one? I bet I didn't. I might have done. I can't remember. I don't think I did, though. Right, see if we've got a place to land. Actually, no. Let's see what the other planets are. Well, I will definitely get a Corvette relatively early, but I don't think I'll be as laser focused as I was in the first time, because it didn't really pay off. Phosphorus, it's not really vital straight away. Mine some magnetized ferrite, I suppose. I'll do that anywhere. Salvageable scrapped on an abandoned planet. That's not a bad thing, is it? So it doesn't look like we have any frozen planets. Pretty sure we couldn't do this before. Actually look at the details of the planet, even though they're unknown. Could we? I mean, I've scanned them, I know, but I thought even if you'd scanned them, you couldn't see the details. Right, so let's plan ahead. I guess the best thing to do right now is to make a little base. Start setting up a little bit of a refinery system. I mean, just don't do what I did with lava cores and be too confident about them. You can get them easily. It's just you should be a little bit more cautious than I was being. Scalding moon. I should at least land on the planets I haven't landed on, just to have them properly marked. Yeah, I think it's new. An undiscovered world that has been probed by a Starship scanner pinned this location to Starship navigation systems with A. So it's kind of really emphasizing the marked planet thing. And it's telling us what's there. People used to complain about that all the time. I've never expected them to actually do anything about it. Well, you can do that. You can just run. And the best thing about running around the building is that you can sometimes get on the other side of the building, and I didn't even give myself time to do that. And if you look back what I did, I was just trying to get those first 3 or 4 from the same spot instead of running to the next one and the next one and the next one. But they do sometimes spawn all around, and they seem to have fixed the fact that they were running off in random directions and not attacking you. Let's get the dioxide before I land. As I'm only going to land here for a few seconds anyway, I might as well get some resources. This has also got fauna. Getting lucky with the fauna. I don't think I got greedy, I just got careless. I underestimated the situation, rather. As I said, that's the thing I'm always doing in permadeath, is I just act a bit recklessly. One over there. Five of 8. What have we got? Rare ground, common ground, uncommon flying. This should be easy. So we've got the grounds because that one's also ground. Remember, this has got predators if I ever need to do a predator mission. Whoops. So there should be a flyer somewhere. Might need to do a bit of running around to get the flyer. Yeah, I'll shoot the sentinel in a minute. I'm more interested in getting these nanites, and I might forget if I don't look around. There it is. Let's shoot that before it gets me. Sort out my hazard protection. I can get away with leaving that for a little while. Probably need a comfort break in a minute as well. Fix me and them experiment. I am wondering if because the expedition is about sentinels attacking you, but they don't want to make it too hard to do the expedition. I can't help wondering that maybe if just in normal mode they've made sentinels not quite so aggressive, and that's what's causing the problem, because it'd be easier to do that than have a special expedition sentinel mode. Right, where did that sentinel go? Has he gone too far away now? There he is. I still haven't actually got my. Actually, let's build my gun, because we've got some. Got some copper now. Only 103 nanotubes. I was a little bit low on carbon, so I might not have the nanotubes, but I do. Okay, let's put those in there straight away so I don't spend them on something else. It'd be a lot easier killing them with a gun. okay there, but we might as well spend it. We'll be in this system for a while, so we don't have to worry about hyperdrive stuff. Now, this will just be my luck that the Sentinel will just go away somewhere. But there are always Sentinels. That must be low in the 2 range, because it hasn't got a bump there. See which one's best. 2135.8 doesn't make any difference if it's next to it or not. Okay. Fall in the hole. Do you reckon subterranean relics are worth it? I think I did that one, didn't I? I landed next to that one on purpose. There's a lot of subterranean relics here, but I just don't really think of them as particularly worth anything. Should I get some phosphorus while I'm here? I can't be bothered. I guess now we've got a gun. It's the gun that... Is it the gun? No, because of course the gun just uses ammunition. That's the one that uses phosphorus. Yeah, but I'm not planning on hanging around on this planet. I've got all of the fauna from it. I can come back for some phosphorus sometime. my initial idea was just to land on all the planets, so if I do end up reloading, I can remember what's on everything. Should try and get some tritium though. It's harder nowadays to spot asteroid belts or clusters, or whatever you want to call them now that they're just big round things. It used to be a lot easier. Haven't been to this station yet, have I? There it is. Hypercluster, was that a jellyfish? Yes, it was. They have absolutely definitely made those spawns a lot quicker now. Should just give us something when we shoot them though, because they take a lot of shooting. We don't get anything for them. Getting in nearly every spawn here. Another one. They used to be super rare, now they're really common. Another one, another 2, 3. I must admit, this is the one thing that makes permadeath just that little bit easier, is that usually you really have to worry about pirates early on. You kind of hang around closer to planets, try not to drift too far. Must be too close to it. I don't know why that does that. It must be where the bullet actually spawns when you're shooting, must be slightly further away. We need a reason to spacewalk onto these things. It'd be really cool to spacewalk onto, because they are huge after all. If we get really close to one and go into camera mode, they are much bigger than we are. So it'd be really cool to have a reason to spacewalk to them. Guessing they really tweaked the buried cache loot table in abandoned mode for four exosuit updates, one multi-tool, one derelict freighter detector. Yeah, it is different, I believe. Well, I think it's the same, but they did tweak it. If you see what I mean. I think they tweaked it for everybody. This is one reason why it's always a good idea to get the emergency warp, so that if you ever get stuck with your ship, you can get out of there. Once you've got the emergency warp, it isn't a problem if you get stuck in something. Because you can even warp out of those strange situations when you're in the freighter hangar bay that can't fly out of the door, which I think might be what you're referring to. Loads of jellyfish. It's the jellyfish asteroid field. Anomaly detector. I don't know how useful they are really, but must admit, it's the only thing I ever really use the emergency warp for, is when you get stuck. Right, that should do me for that. Nice. Overgrown. Might even be a nice enough planet to make home. I won't be ashamed to just quit the game so I don't die in that specific scenario. Yeah, but what you can end up with is both of your saves being in a messed up situation. Or you might... Your more immediate save, your what's it called, the auto save, might stay in that messed up situation, and your manual save might have been like 20 minutes ago. You really don't want to lose that progress. And for the sake of having to rebuild an emergency warp, it can be worth it. Well, this abandoned planet here also has the salvageable scrap, so it might be tempting to make that my home. But you never know. This could be really nice. Doesn't look very promising. The very boring coloured ground. Copper. It's quite a nice plan. Ooh. Stop. See, now all of a sudden it has become very promising, because I can always make my home in a nice convenient place. I don't know. I was thinking more about where I'm going to live. It's a corvette system. I wasn't thinking about multi-tools as much. This is a double one. It looks like it. Wait, don't go away. Will it let me make feature pellets now? Yes, it will. Been lucky with fauna so far. Rideable. Excellent. I didn't think there was any doubt about it, but you never know. Weather mostly calm. Of course, that could change after a reload. Much other. Look at that. Underground, underground. One of the newer underwaters and some older underwaters. Round and flying. Ground, 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 ground. Well, this is a nice enough planet to walk around on. The best thing about one of the great things about a flyer is you can run around and you can scan for animals while flying. Another beetle. That must have been the other ground, I think. So it's just the underground and the underwater, so I can't do that from a beetle. It's always when I'm flying around on something like this that I realise how much this game changed since I started playing it. Yeah, I do regret choosing this beetle before seeing the other beetle, but I'll stick with this now. Ship's over there. a little bit careful about not landing not getting off my beetle too high. Well, we didn't have many resources before, but now we've got the ability to get lots of carbon, lots of oxygen, lots of sodium. I think this is quite a nice planet for this. Yeah, that one also got that. This doesn't turn into a stormy planet after a reload. This will be quite a nice place to live. If you don't keep getting out in the way, I'm going to have to dismiss you. Right. Let's go and find... These are my normal places I like to call home early on in a save. Early on in any save, to be honest. Quick look round, make sure there's no good reason to not be here. No machinery. That's a shame. Actually, got some chromatic metal. Oh, I haven't got enough. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I'm definitely going to drop the base computer right here. This is where I like to make my bases. Just like to be able to have access to a trade terminal more than anything. I know they're not quite as useful here, but oh, we've got some dioxide. That's a bonus. Don't have an awful lot of cash. It's always handy for metal plating, at least. Is the empty one? No. It's even got a bed for me, look. Just give us beg logging, please. Claim base. Never understood why that wasn't a thing in this game. Just realised I never actually turned off multiplayer. Never actually turned off can join my group. Actually, or yes, I can see that happening. They haven't worked out the obvious thing to do with corvettes, which is to make them right up in the air somewhere, like 100 meters up in the air, and just make sure position it so that the teleporter is on a piece of ground. That's the logical thing to do. They haven't done that. I don't get it. Right, I've got a base of operations. I think that might be the best place to finish off. That is true, they can't interact with you in abandoned mode, but they could always come and mess your base up in theory if they use mods or something. I suppose they could do that if they use mods anyway. It's a pity it's not a callback system. I might have had a nice multi-tool, but not Corvex, Viking. It is a callback system. So yeah, I think I'll finish off there. I'm not quite back to where I was, but at least I'm getting a bit more progress, and we're doing it the old-fashioned way by starting with a base. And we'll see how we got on with this one, and I'll be a little bit more cautious, and at least if I want to actually mine these things, I can run inside here, or I can put base walls up and protect myself, and generally not be quite so gung-ho with it all. Okay, so I'll finish up there. Thanks for watching. I've been Pharaoh, and goodbye for now. Travel well.